So, without further ado, Ms. Klein, please. Hello. Let me speak in English. Well, I was asked to present in English.
It'll be easier that way. I hope we can speak Japanese later too, that's okay. It's about sparkling Tokyo. Tokyo is pretty sparkling already. Everything is nice and clean and orderly. Everything functions well, like Ichikawa sensei just explained in the urban intangible values. And we have beautiful buildings that work, but I want to make it even more sparkling. Tokyo should be more sparkling. It is working well, but for the next generation, for my daughter's generation, we should work towards making it a happy, genki, joyous, sparkling Tokyo. As I said, Tokyo's working well, but it is quite, and there's no verb for it in English, a bit otonashi. And it could do with more life. It could do with more diversity, more creativity, and spontaneity. It could do with a little bit more chaos, because that's what creative people like. When there is chaos, there will be creative solutions and a little bit of mess. So I arrived with my business partner Mark Dyson here in Tokyo 26 years ago. So, but the theme is what has changed in the last 25 years. And yes, a lot has changed. We basically came here because there were lots of iconic buildings that were built during the bubble economy. And as architects, we wanted to check them out. And I think there was a very big architecture tourism. There still is. There could be more, but there still is architecture tourism to Tokyo. We came because we couldn't believe they would build buildings like Cinema Rise. It is a bit tired today, but back then it was pretty unbelievable that they would build Cinema Rise, or for those of you who remember, there was an office building called Crystal Light on Omotesando 1 that was really, really out there. And I'm not saying we liked it, but coming from conservative Europe, you know, London and Milan and Rome, where you can't build such extreme buildings like the Aoyama Seizo Gakuin, we kind of just had open jaws, dropped jaws, and said, what? And also the quality of these buildings was really high. Here's Philip Stark ones, and that's what people like to go and see when they go somewhere. It's like something incredible. And so, yes, where have all these iconic buildings gone? What is the iconic building of, the 2000s, 2010, 2015? So yes, I think, unfortunately, the quality has stayed, but iconic buildings have become a bit, have disappeared a bit. And I just like to remind everybody of the Bilbao effect. There was nothing in Bilbao. It wasn't on the map. But when Frank Gehry built the Guggenheim Museum, all of a sudden, it brought in a huge economy to Bilbao. And I think we've done a little bit like that. We've a Daikanyama effect. No, it doesn't quite sound the same. But yes, I think many more people come to T-Site in Daikanyama, or to Daikanyama in general, since T-Site opened 3 years ago. So I think people like when they like to hang out in the city. They like to be comfortable and then just stroll about. And I think maybe not only Tokyo, but Japan in general has been looking at tourists like walk-in wallets and didn't think that after doing a lot of walking and shopping, they might be tired and they just want to hang out. So how to get people into a city? Well, Bilbao was one, and that's an art museum. And there are lots of art museums in Tokyo, so I don't want to go there. But Japan or Tokyo is known for lots of famous fashion designers, starting from the first fashion designer generations with Yohji Yamamoto, Issey Miyake, Rei Kawakubo, the younger ones, Undercover, and so on. In London, you have the V&A, which shows a vast, almost pretty much the whole history of fashion design, and thinking that the kimono is a uniquely Japanese dress. There is no kimono museum. There is no fashion museum, and fashion inspires pop stars like David Bowie, and even his attire gets exhibited in the V&A. Like this one here. Japanese was always very appealing, as you can see. I have no idea what it says, but it's probably something controversial, and that's okay. So, yeah, how about the fashion museum? Where is it? Where is the design museum? Japan is known for lots of amazing, great designs all over the world, and people come to Japan and want to see where all these great designs come from. This soy bottle is well known all over the world, and people don't really know it's a Japanese designer who's made this. And wouldn't it be great if one can build on all these great products? Hey, you've done the first Walkman in the world. Sony is known all over the world, but when they come to Tokyo and want to go and see, I don't know, where the Sony products come from, they go to Sony in Ginza, and honestly, I think they're a bit disappointed of what they see. So it would be great having a design museum where all these great Japanese product designs could be exhibited and to inspire even more people. I think, in general, Japanese people are too modest. You should be proud of what you got and show it off. This is the London Design Museum, and the old one, sorry, and all sorts of permanent, they have a big permanent collection, but of course there are also temporary collections, exhibitions there. This is going to be the new design museum in London. You would say, yeah, we have a design museum in Tokyo. It's the 2121 gallery, but I dare say it's a gallery, and it has great exhibitions. Don't get me wrong, I love them, but it's not a design museum. A design museum has a permanent collection and all sorts of product design that can be showed off. In Tokyo, we have a good start with the Designers Week, and I think everybody is partaking and putting up beautiful design exhibitions. But if you had a design museum, you could show the designs of the year in it, rather than just having a little token exhibition in the atrium of Midtown showing the Good Design Awards. And so many Japanese car brands. Where is the car museum? No car museum. So yes, 20 seconds on one slide is long. You have Honda, and what can I say now for 20 seconds? This is the NSX. It was a pretty revolutionary design. I know somebody who was involved in the design of this car, and they kind of told us we bought a Ferrari and then we crashed it to see how it works and to develop a better NSX. We got Nissan. Yeah, lots to say about Nissan. I chose all red cars because for me, although there are many different car designs, they all look a little bit the same. They all want to look kakui and flashy, but anyway. And then, this is Toyota. I just remembered the Jumban of the cars. That's why I know. I wouldn't be able to recognize it on the road. And I couldn't find the red Subaru, so this is a Subaru in blue. But I don't know. Maybe if there were car museums, this could be kind of, studied in more depth how to make interesting cars. So Germany, who has also many car brands, they each have a car museum and a great iconic architecture that goes with it. This is the Porsche Museum in Stuttgart. And inside you kind of have the whole evolution of the Porsche car, obviously, and everything that goes with it, down to the sunglasses and T-shirts. Next one up will be the Volkswagen Museum, which is not so flashy, but it works on a big car parking silo idea, which is really cool. This is in Wolfsburg, near Stuttgart. And then we have the BMW World in Munich. Again, very flashy design. Which, even I, who am not interested in car design, I went to see it in Munich just because it's extraordinary architecture. And I think even there must be more people out there who are not interested in cars and who actually are not even interested in architecture, but it becomes a destination. It becomes a place to go to see something else. It becomes a diverse activity. This is inside. And then you have the Mercedes-Benz Museum, which I went to see, mainly because I had memories of my parents taking me there when I was only maybe 4 or 5 years old. And I was very impressed with the concept car back then. And I wanted to show that to my daughter. And my father is quite proud because he helped developing this grille here on this car. Apparently there was a rally somewhere, and a condor flew through the windshield and unfortunately killed the driver, and so that's how they developed that. So where is the history of Japanese cars? Being an architect, of course, I'd love to go to an architecture museum. Wouldn't it be nice if there were an architecture museum in Tokyo? Do you know that out of 37 Pritzker Prize winners, Pritzker Prize is the Nobel Show of Architects, okay? 7 are Japanese architects. That's 25% roughly, okay? That's amazing. And but nowhere is there a place where we can find out about that. That's, the previous slide was the Architecture Museum in Rotterdam, and this is the inside of the Architecture Museum in Frankfurt. They could be better, honestly, not as flashy as the car museums. And I think we can work on the architecture museums, but better than nothing. You are known the world over for manga, anime, and where is your manga museum? Nowhere. Just people send them to Asakusa. No, not Asakusa, what am I saying? Akihabara. And, get them shopping in different shops. So China made the first manga museum. That's not right. Do you think so? It looks pretty flashy again. I'm not sure if that's just a CG that won the competition. Maybe the outcome is soon to be revealed and it might look all different. But this is your manga museum, and I think it's pretty, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think it makes for a tourist destination. So I think there needs to be work done on the museums. Yeah, that's also the Kyoto Manga Museum. It's nice, but it doesn't seem to be too popular for some reason. Anyway, so museums would definitely be a big attraction to get people to Japan. I think Japan is very good in promoting traditional culture, all the temples and shrines and gardens, but we need new culture. It's the new culture that attracts people even more. This is Exhibition Road in London, and the reason I'm showing this is because at the bottom of this road, hang on, I need to find the right button here. Oops, is that one? Yeah. At the bottom of this road, there's Natural History Museum, Science Museum, and the V&A. And this exhibition road leads up to Hyde Park. And there are 11 million visitors coming to that area per year. Now, 1 year or 2 years back, Japan was aiming to attract 10 million visitors. It's surpassed it now, but if you compare that to 11 million visitors in near Exhibition Road, you know, we have way to go. This is Omotesando, and what has changed in the last 25 years is that this is no longer a pedestrian paradise, Hokosha Tengoku. And this is very sad, I find. I think it's not just the building stock that makes for a lively city. It's the human people, it's the people in the street that attract more people. Like here, Exhibition Road used to be just for cars. I know that because I went to the Royal College of Art at the top of the road, and this road was very ugly because cars were parking on it, and it wasn't for pedestrians at all. Now there are no pavements. It's people can cross the road wherever they want, and the cars have to slow down. So it is possible to live together with the cars on the same road. This is in Brighton, and what they've just done a very long bench. And people like to sit down and see other people passing by and just enjoy themselves and hang out after a long day of visiting museums. You could have long street parties, like a long table. And I think it's in Nakameguro, where they have the summer festival. That's pretty cool, lots of summer. But anyway, it would be great if people could reclaim the street a bit more, because where there are people in the street, there will be even more. Here, this is a little parking. So what they've done in San Francisco, they started a program where they reclaim the street one parking space at a time. And so they pay the parking meter, and they put a little park in there. And when the parking meter is, how do you say, gone up? No, gone down, they wheel it away. This is a little bit more permanent. Again, it's one parking space at a time, reclaiming the city for the people, not for the cars. And so people can just hang out, drink a coffee, and see the world go by. Again, just one car parking space, extending the pavement. Right now is yeah, you have, we have, why am I saying this, right? There should be more people in the street. And I'm particularly thinking of Roppongi, where you have Roppongi Hills and the Mori Art Museum, you have 2121 in Midtown, and you have the National Museum of Art. And in this triangle is a great cultural triangle, but people cannot move from one to the other. It's really difficult and it's not enjoyable. It's an ugly streetscape. And so wouldn't it be great if one started by making a triangular exhibition road in Roppongi, reclaiming the road for the people, for the visitors. And people, of course, Tokyo gets a little bit hot in summer. So having a bit of fresh air, maybe a little bit humidity, these kind of flat fountains, everybody loves them. Mums hate them because the kids always get wet. But it makes for good fun, and everybody loves watching what people do and what accident can possibly happen. So this is in London, in front of Somerset House, and you could have performances, a wet ballet as opposed to a ballet in the theater, outdoor, and synchronizing the water fountains with it. Is it a water ballet? No, synchronized swimming? No. Anyway, I didn't know that was happening in Somerset House, but in winter it turns into an ice skating rink, and around the ice skating rink you can drink hot wine, and you can have a nice little tapas while watching the skaters go by. Another attraction in a city would be really big art, okay? Tokyo has art, but it's not big enough. It needs to be more impressive and really big, like this one by Anish Kapoor. I'm saying this because we all know the big spider downstairs. It's pretty big already, but somehow it's much more fun mirroring yourself in here and seeing how the city gets deformed and see how kind of projections get reflected in here. It makes for such a photo opportunity. So maybe we need photogenic art, I don't know. Big is good. In the same Millennium Park in Chicago, there's also this water fountain which changes faces. And some faces are more beautiful than others, but it makes for diversity, it makes for variety. I think you can even put your own face on there somehow and see what you look like when you have a water fountain coming out of your mouth. So yes, we need more people in the streets. If you invest in culture, then the people will come. You can make nice buildings. You invest in nice buildings, people will come, they'll spend money. It's a win-win situation. Back here, that also has changed in the last 25 years. When we first arrived here, there was lots of music and performances in Yoyogi Park, okay? Cool guys. I think lots of women would come and see them. They're still there, actually. They're just a bit older now. But what I thought was funny is that they made a pavement especially for them now. You can see where they're going to dance every Sunday. It's an institution now. And because it has become an institution, it lost a little bit the freshness, the impromptu, the chaos, the spontaneity of creativity. There used to be a lot more dress up. Back in the day, when we freshly arrived from London, We saw punks in Harajuku, okay? Punks. But then on Sunday, they became beautiful OLs. So it was just a dress-up. And but nowadays, it all has been kind of put away a bit nicely into cosplay. And let's please organize this and have it in big sight, okay? Let's not mess up the streets with ganguros and so on. There are rumors going on that the ganguros have disappeared from Shibuya, so therefore Shibuya is not so interesting anymore. I don't like ganguros myself, and God forbid my daughter turns into one, but at least it makes for variety, it makes for diversity, it makes for attraction, and people love to see them. But, you know, I think it's a warning sign when people say, oh, no, Shibuya has become boring. So we need more culture. We need more experience. And I think I said a lot more other things which you read. We need more emotion. But more than anything, I think, and I'm talking to you women here in the audience, we need more women in decision-making because we can work on emotion and make people happy. Thank you very much. Thank you.